Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick review of my Raceblade I just finished up a couple days ago. Just maidened it last night. Flies great. I'm pretty proud of it, so I figured I'd kind of dive right in. I went with the Cobra 2204 2300 kV motors. You can't go wrong with those. These have been proven to be great motors. I've been completely happy with them. I have them on a ZMR. I've flown them on my QAV-250. They're great motors. Shout out to Platinum Hobbies for helping me out with some multi-rotor mania Zeus little B ESCs. I decided to direct solder my ESCs or rather my motors directly to my ESCs. Now, cutting off this heat shrink does void the warranty on your ESC, so make sure you're very comfortable with soldering. It's really not that big of a deal. I think most people can do it. You just kind of have to have a steady hand and use it, and be careful with it. It turned out fine for me. Works great. I have yet to put some double-sided tape under here, but that is my plan to stick these down. But I cut everything exactly to the length, so they're in there pretty good. They don't move around too much, so they should be okay even without the double-sided tape. And now for the guts of the quad. What I did was built a nice little stack here. I have a Brotronics power distribution board, an OS Doge, and Naze Rev 6, and I've tried to direct solder pretty much everything. So I cut my power wires for the ESC to length, soldered those on. The Brotronics the Brotronics power distribution board has a really nice current sensor. So I'm going to be utilizing that. And what I really like about the OS Doge and the Naze is how it perfectly stacks up. So if you can see in there, you have 3 sets of 2 pins. So here behind this little standoff, you can barely see is what is actually powering the Naze is a little detachable pins in there that go into the motor pins on the Naze to power the Naze. So that's 5-volt out there of the OS Doge. In there you can see there's your RX and TX, so that the Naze can talk to the OSD. And on the back here there is the VBAT monitoring. So from the Brotronics power distribution board, I have a little wire going up to the OSD from the current sensor to give the amperage, and then I also have it plugged into the main battery voltage to monitor the voltage, and that runs right up into the Naze as well, so that my beeper can you can set the VBAT monitoring. Another really cool thing I wanted to show you guys is what I did with the beeper. If you can see it in there, it kind of what I did was I bent the pins a little bit so that the beeper is direct soldered directly onto the board and kind of hangs off the back a little bit, so it still keeps a low profile. And I put a little super glue in there to secure it. It's pretty secure. Just one less wire and thing dangling off the back that you have to worry about securing. So I thought that came up pretty nicely. I've got the X4R S-Bus receiver, also direct soldered to the Naze here. And wherever I have a positive and negative pretty close to each other, I try to put a little super glue just to prevent a short in case some wet grass or a wet leaf gets in there. Just a little safety precaution that I've been doing. For video, I have the Eachine TS5823 32 channel 5.8 gigahertz video transmitter. For the price, I don't think you can beat it. It's a great little video transmitter. I think you can get it for $12 from Banggood if you can wait for the shipping. There's a few distributors in the States that have also started to carry it. I think for $1 or $2 more, but still great little video transmitter. Sony Superhad mini camera. This one's from Rotor Geeks. Right now I have the stock 2.8mm lens on there, but I've really been liking the 2.5mm lens that I have on my QAV-210. So I have another one of those on order that I'm going to be swapping this out for. Temporarily I've mounted the receiver antennas on the bottom here. Or I wouldn't say I mounted them, I just kind of have them hanging out of the bottom. That's going to be probably moved up top here so that they don't get, you know, scraped up on landings or caught on something and tore off. I'll eventually do the good old zip tie trick and have them hanging off on zip ties on the top, and maybe get some paracord to make them look a little nicer. Let's see what else here. The only thing that's actually holding in my receiver is this little bit of foam I put between the receiver and the naze, and then it just kind of sandwiched in there. It fits perfectly, so there's not really a lot of movement, so that works great. Like I said, I maidened it last night. It flies great. I need to do some PID tuning. I need to calibrate the current sensor and the voltage meter. But other than that, I am really liking this little quad. People have complained about the bottom plate being too weak and it breaking here when the legs or when the arms stretch it. I'll see if that gives me any problems, but I'm pretty happy with the way it came out. I hear they're going to be releasing a new bottom plate. I may decide to upgrade to that, especially if I end up breaking this one. But the idea behind the Raceblade is so that you can have detachable arms, and in the event that you break an arm, burn out an ESC or a motor in a race, you can quickly detach the arms here in the bottom without having to completely disassemble the quad. Swap it out for a new arm, which ideally you would have ready to go with motor and ESC. Screw it back in, quickly solder it back onto your PDB, and you should be good to go. And from what I hear, Lumineer is also releasing a quick release PDB so that you can actually just plug in your power leads for your ESCs. Obviously, since I did a bunch of direct soldering, that is not really going to be beneficial for me, but still, it's a really light, agile little frame. So what I'm going to do is I'll put some flight footage, some of the DVR footage from my flight last night, and hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions or you want to see anything else, please let me know, comment below. And as always, like and subscribe.